What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we are talking about Agatha, Episode 3, Through Many Miles of Tricks and Trials. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, I gotta tell you, I am fan-freaking-tastic. And I'll tell you why. I've been going freaking every day, except there was one day I missed last week of the migraine. But you go back for a month, and I've been doing something every night, and it was just, oh, it was terrible. So, the official story last night is I had car issues, and I couldn't make it to practice. And it was, well, it was just like it was a blessing in disguise. I needed a night off. I got to relax. I actually still played through the set on my drums, but I was just, oh, it was just such a relief not to have to go anywhere after working. It was nice. So
I like that you still have that discipline, though, that you're like, you know what? It's the right thing to do. I'm part of a band. I know that I need to practice this part, for when we do eventually perform it live. That's good. That is excellent. Everybody out there watching Not Your Status Quo, let this be known. Dave is not a lazy slouch.
oh,
And only
well,
Dave.
And only Dave.
well, thank you. That was very nice.
I'm pretty sure this shirt is clean. Yeah.
I don't know where to go from there.
Does Doug owe you money or something, Dave? What's going on here?
Yeah,
I'm totally lost.
Well, I think the real Dave and not the scroll got out somehow and dropped a message on his keyboard. Okay, but with that, Doug, how are you, man? How are you doing?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. I had a really chill day, and I remember, I think it might have been Patton Oswalt, I don't remember, one of the stand-up comedians that I listened to had made a joke one time during one of their sets saying, I've realized that the older you get, the more you enjoy just doing nothing. And boy, did I feel that today. I got up early in the morning and I'm like, I don't have to be up. I don't have anything going on. I ended up going back to bed, slept in until 11, like the lazy slouch that I am. Got up, had some coffee until about noon, and I'm like, I should probably eat food, take my medicine because I am older. But guys, I did nothing today, and it was everything I could have ever wanted and more.
Yes. Yep. Some days you just need that. That's awesome.
But now I get to hang out with you too and talk some I was about to say WandaVision. Agatha All Along.
Well, well, yeah, okay.
WandaVision 2.0, I don't know.
It's WandaVision
Right.
episode. Hold on. I'm being
1.5.
summoned upstairs. I'll be back.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Talk amongst yourselves. Figure
well,
out.
We're not
I
gonna
was
know.
Guess
just
how-
about to
one of
ask
you guess
Keith
how
how he's
good
doing. Apparently we've got a bug to kill or something.
We're not gonna know how Keith is at least for a few more minutes.
Right. Oh man.
But you're right. I don't want to jump right into the show without Keith having a chance.
Oh, that's
to
fine.
speak.
Yeah, no. You can
But
be
it's
extra
like, it's
vague
WandaVision
about it.
Yeah, it's WandaVision 1.5.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, no, I'm gonna wait until we start talking about it. Let's just
Good
talk
idea.
about
Good idea.
other stuff.
So, do you want to know what I had for dinner tonight? Just kind of adding on to my lazy day. I'm not gonna do anything
if
mentality.
you say ramen noodles, I don't know what to
Oh,
say.
you are close. You are so
Oh,
close.
what was it?
Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, not Chef Boyardee.
No way. I'm basically a chef. I had to boil the water. I had
Whoa.
to put the noodles in it, and
Whoa.
then I had to mix milk and butter with the powdered cheese. I know.
How did it come
I'm
out?
fancy, y'all.
How did it come out? Was it good?
It was good. I ended up mixing in some grilled chicken breast and some breadcrumbs on top, make it fancy like I didn't just make macaroni and cheese out of a box.
That's the way to do it.
I'm an adult. But Keith, now that you're back, sir, how are you doing?
I am tremendous. And you know, Doug, it's funny because I rarely ever get a chance to just be lazy. Sit around, 2 kids, full-time job, this. I'm always seemingly doing something. I never feel like I have a break. I do, but it doesn't feel that way most times. But today, my wife's birthday was Thursday, for those of you wondering why we're streaming Saturday night instead of Thursday night. My brother-in-law's was Monday. And so today, my wife took our son over to their house to play with his cousins for like 5 hours. So she dropped him off. My daughter was sleeping. And I got some stuff set up on OBS and did some things. And then I was reading some comics. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking a nap. And I slept for about an hour this afternoon. I cannot remember the last time I had like an uninterrupted nap when I wasn't sick. And then got up, went, had pizza and cake and stuff over at my in-laws. And I'm like, and I like get over there and they hand me a Jack and Coke. It was like a Coca-Cola that had the Jack Daniels already in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not a big drinker, but I'm like, and it was Coke Zero, you know, because watching my figure, you know. But I'm like, man, this is kind of nice. So it was an all-around good day. It's nice. We all seem to have. Dave got to have a lazy day yesterday. Doug and I today. It's all good. And we all got to watch a new episode of Agatha All Along. Which
Yes, we did.
should we talk about it now, gents?
Did you say
Dive right in.
which?
I did.
Which was which?
And it was titled Through Many Miles of Tricks and Trials, which it seems like they're taking the lyrics from the Witch's Road to kind of, you know, fill in the titles and stuff. But, you know, it was a good episode.
Can I say something about this real quick?
You cannot.
For all the
That's
people
not why we're
who
here.
were spouting online, and I believed it. I believed it going into this. The rumors that this is going to be a musical. There's going to be a song every episode. There wasn't any singing in this one.
And how about that other thing we heard that hasn't come true either? Well, that I heard that it was going to be the gayest show, and if it was, who cares? But it's not. It's just a normal show.
That's why I think we're all in conclusion. You can't trust anything but what Not Your Status Quo says. Everything we say is true, 100%, never wrong. Don't trust all these other internet rumors.
But I did love Aubrey Plaza's response when they said, "We've heard this is the gayest show ever." And she said, "It better be, because that's what I signed up for."
Yeah.
If there's anyone who handles interview people better than her, I don't know who it is.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
And
And
unfortunately,
I did not
wasn't it?
know. Also, I didn't know her obsession with witches and witchcraft. Like, it goes deep.
She might have paid Marvel to be in this if they weren't paying her.
I'm sorry. Did you say you were doing a show about witches and you didn't call me? Hold up.
But again, she wasn't on this episode.
Or was she?
I'm having, or was she? Well, I don't want to jump to the end.
This isn't the end.
But you want to jump to the end, don't you?
This is the middle.
No, actually,
So just to
one
talk
thing-
about what Dave was saying, during Patti LuPone, I can't remember her, is it Lilith? Lilith? I can't remember all their names. See if it's in my notes.
yeah,
But the one who was the psychic in episode 2, they recruited, the divination witch. We'll call her that because I can't remember her name. When she was seeing her hallucinations from the poison, she saw Lady Death. I am more convinced now that Aubrey Plaza's character is Lady Death than I was before. Because they keep hinting at it and talking about how all of the song lyrics are turning into titles. One of the song lyrics is taking death by the hand or something. It's not in my notes for tonight, but I wrote it down somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. But that makes it sound like, at first I was like, okay, you know, it's just kind of, here it is. I hold death's hand in mine is one of the lyrics to the actual song. And at first I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just you're risking your life on the road, on the witch's road. But I do think now that Sharon has passed away, to jump to the end, like I know we all like to do, I think Aubrey Plaza's character is coming back. And I think part of it, for whatever reason, she is going to help Agatha get to the end of the witch's road. And I have thoughts on that. But, not jumping to the end. This was kind of, I don't know what kind of episode to call it, but, it's just kind of like their first trial. They get into that house, they drink it. Obviously, Agatha knows it's going to be poison or something. She doesn't drink it. But everything that goes on, like, it's not a complicated plot. It's not overly convoluted or anything. But I'm enjoying all of the people. I'm enjoying the dialogue. Like, none of the dialogue seems really forced. All of the actors in it do a good job. Now, am I saying this is like a 9.5 on the Doug scale? No, not at all. But I'm like, from what I thought this was going to be when they first announced it to what it is now, I'm like, all right.
It's better than what you thought.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I can't say the same thing. It's different than what I thought, but I wouldn't say it's better.
Well, what did you think? What quality level did you think it was going to be when they first announced it?
About a 5 is what I thought, and honestly, that's about what it's been. So I'm not going to allude to my rating for later, but this episode, it seemed kind of like the WandaVision thing, where they went down and they became, they got their new personalities or whatever, the new outfits and new everything for the house.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like a new way to do the WandaVision thing. I wonder if that's going to continue through the episodes.
I was wondering that too.
Are they going to lose a witch on every show, like they lost
every episode?
Yeah, like what's
Sharon?
Her name?
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. When they lost Sharon.
Who's Sharon?
Sharon.
Let me ask you guys something about that. Do you think she died because they didn't pull one of her hairs for the antidote?
Ooh, and they didn't pull her hair because she wasn't a witch, because they didn't pull it on the teen either.
Well, the teen didn't drink. It was everyone who drank the poison had to put their hair in it.
True.
And now they could have done it off camera, but I watched it a second time and I was like, okay, they never got a hair from her that they showed on camera. And I wonder if that could be why Sharon died.
I didn't think that. I assumed it was because she drank 2 glasses.
And that could be too. I thought it was odd. They showed, they talked about it, but they didn't show every witch pull a hair either. Like, if you remember, right when Agatha was about to pull her hair, she had her hallucination with the dark hold in the crib.
Mm-hmm.
Did you two notice also, as soon as they walked into the house, the aspect ratio changed on the screen? Kind of like how it does in WandaVision, where, like, they're depending on what decade they're doing the TV show, and like it might be the 4:3, or it might be widescreen or whatever. I noticed that
4:3 sepia.
Yeah, I noticed that like as soon as they closed the door, like it widened almost like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I remember like the first time I noticed that, I felt stupid because I never saw it in the theater. It wasn't until like I'd watch it at home, and I told you two that I had to rewatch this because unfortunately I was exhausted the night of Wednesday night, and I was trying to watch it. I forgot that we weren't streaming on Thursday. I'm like, I gotta watch the show. I gotta watch the episode, make sure that I'm ready. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and it wasn't because of the show. The show wasn't so boring that it was making me sleep. I was just tired. And so I'm like, all right, I gotta rewatch it. And so I'm watching it through and I'm looking for, little things, and I'm taking my notes and everything. I'm like, oh, that was weird. There's no way I would have caught that the other night. But yeah, there's a bunch of little things that they're doing. And did you guys go back on Disney Plus and watch the behind the episode?
I didn't yet, no.
So they're using a lot of practical sets, and you guys know that I love that. I love when they take a step out of the volume and they're either on set or they use more practical sets. So it feels more open to me. And the woods, that's all one giant, it's on a stage, so they built that. So it's like all these, warped trees and everything. But then they purposely, when they're approaching the house, they purposely made that a painted matte backdrop to reference the Wizard of Oz, and I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that is
And I'm
cool.
like, oh, okay, that's slick. I like that.
It's funny you say that because I saw an article yesterday. This is the least expensive show, Marvel show, that they've made for Disney Plus. Echo cost 40 million, and this is less than that.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
if that's the case, I think they're going to do really well with the show then.
yeah, they had like
'Cause
9 million viewers for the first episode. It's doing well ratings wise as far as I could tell. They haven't released it for
That's
all
good.
3 episodes left, but yeah, I saw that. There were some scenes I was like, that's not the best.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, for what they're doing, this doesn't need to have the best special effects. I'm hoping, if we get into some more magical things, later in the series, it'll be good. But maybe some of the stuff was done for a reason. Like when they showed, like you said, they showed the house the first time. I was like, that's not. They could have spent a few more minutes making it look a little better.
But it was done that way for a reason, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, to pay
give
homage.
But the thing is, like, if I hadn't watched that behind the scenes, I wouldn't have known that. I probably would have thought the same thing and been like, well, that's weird. That's a little janky. Come on, Disney. Like, I know you've got the money. So I guess maybe it's for their diehard whiz heads.
He's a wizard. They're witches. They're all related somehow.
Yep.
But you know what? Here, I was watching this episode and I realized, and I said this to you on through Slack, but I wanted to address it here on the air. The teen has a cut in his eyebrow right here. And it's clear to me when you watch it, I mean, that it's there intentionally. And I realized that it was there intentionally because when they went into the house and they all got their new clothes, it wasn't there. It was straight across. There was no breaks at all. So when he's in his normal form or whatever, not in that house, he has a cut there. Now I'm thinking, who else has a cut there? Why would that be? I think it's going to be significant. I think it's trying to give us a clue as to who he is. But
Okay.
I don't know which character that would be. Had we seen a character in the MCU that has a cut there?
Not that I know.
I don't know of one, but I'm assuming you do.
I don't.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I am actually asking the question.
Oh,
So
yeah. No, I assumed this is, I'm not trying to rain on your parade because it could very well be someone. I just assumed it's a stylistic choice because I know some teens do that. They'll purposely take a little.
But even when they switched to the other reality,
Magic House. I don't know.
yeah, it was just gone. So I think it's going to mean something. I don't know what it's going to mean, but I just want to point it out in case it comes up later that we here, status quo, noticed.
Yeah.
Well, and remember when the teen was talking to the protection witch, she was like, I miss the eyeliner, but I like the hair. It's cute. So, they made reference to the fact that he looks different. And I know they all did, but they made a point of that.
noticed it.
Yes.
I also like how they all noticed the sigil. I thought throughout episodes 1 and 2, I thought for sure that only Wanda was seeing that. But then when he attempted to say his name and they all were like, oh, well, that's a little weird. Someone put a sigil on. I love Agatha's response. Don't look at me. It's beneath me. And it's just like, Agatha, you're like, come on, you are chewing the hell out of the scenery. Like, you're making me think, like, I know you didn't do it, but even I'm sitting here like, God, did she though?
So Daniel Goodwin just put a spoiler in the chat about who the teen is. I guess they had a Funko Pop that spoiled it. We're not going to say it on air, but that is who I thought it was. And we can talk about that because when the Potions Witch, I can't remember any of their names, when the Potion Witch had the teen aside and she was like, Agatha gave up her son for the Darkhold, which we kind of saw that in her hallucination later in the episode with the Darkhold and the thing. She said she would not know her son if he showed up on her doorstep. And I'm like, okay, I don't think it's going to be Nicholas Scratch. I do think the teen is going to be Wiccan, because I do think she would know her own son if he did show up, even if she gave him up as a youth. I feel like that's just a mom thing. So I do think, well, it sounds like it's confirmed that he's Wiccan, I guess, from the Funko Pop. Spoiler. If
I thought you just said that you weren't going to say the spoiler.
Oh!
Right.
I did. Oh, he deleted his
You know
comment.
what?
Sorry, Daniel. I did.
Can we say it's official?
No, we cannot.
We can't. It's a theory. It's a rumor that's going to be true. But I would be interested now to go back to WandaVision and see if he has a gun on his eye.
Well, remember, she created that one. This is actual. Oh my God, I wrote his name down somewhere and I can't. Billy
Kaplan.
Billy Kaplan, yes. So they call him, Billy Maximoff at times, but he's actually Billy Kaplan in this universe.
Okay.
And
so he hasn't made an appearance yet.
correct. So if it is, but I started thinking, I think at some point, if not in this series, like maybe this series is just them doing the Witch's Road, and then she's going to get her power back, and there might be something on there. I do think at some point she is going to have to save her son from whoever she traded with for the Darkhold.
So I have a theory about Billy, because I kind of was thinking that. I did not know about this whole Funko Pop thing, but I assumed that was the direction they were going, and the fact that he was so magical, I just assumed that's what they were doing. But do you think it's possible, since, we know that this is, not the Billy that Wanda created along with, her other son. This is a different character that just happens to kind of like be comprised of. I think in the comics, like he's like infused with it's a similar storyline. Like Wanda creates the original, but then the guy who ends up becoming Wiccan is like reincarnated or something. So do you think that while Wanda was still working with the Darkhold, do you think it's possible that she was, in her attempt to bring her kids back, she may have accidentally, without realizing it, infused somebody's, some person's kid with the soul of her imaginary son?
I think it's
You mean the
possible.
Kaplan?
I'm trying to figure out the MCU way that they're going to justify this, because we know that a lot of times the more mystical elements in the comics, the Marvel Cinematic Universe tries to shy away from it a bit. Like this specific show, not so much. They're fully embracing the magic, but I wonder if they're going to create the Young Avengers and they're going to eventually put Wiccan in the Young Avengers, are they going to try to give him a slightly more grounded in very heavy quotes backstory? It's like, well, instead of him being the reincarnated version of an imaginary, technically it was just a spell gone wrong. I'm wondering what sort of weird MCU justification they'll end up giving to say why he's here.
Yeah, they're gonna have to explain it. I mean, they're pretty good at explaining things.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they do it.
No, I
Or
think there's
are
a
we all being
possibility.
misled and it's really Mephisto?
Yeah, well, that was
And
my guess.
we finally got the name drop,
Yeah.
or he's
yeah.
an agent of
Yes.
Mephisto, which I was like, okay.
Oh, you know that was for the fans. You know it, because it was like every episode of WandaVision. Could this mean Mephisto?
Yeah.
But
Mephisto.
I start wondering about who she traded the Darkhold, who she traded her son to get the Darkhold, who, if Aubrey Plaza is playing Lady Death, is she also after Agatha? Because she said she wanted her dead. Is she also after? Are they blaming her for the Scarlet Witch seemingly destroying the Darkhold? Like they placed it in her hands, and then the Scarlet Witch got it and destroyed it. So is that something that Lady Death, the Salem 7, well, the Salem 7, I think, want her because she stole powers from people and she's, a bad witch or whatnot.
Right.
Sully is so excited.
So I have a sort of assumption about that. Um, and I wanted to mention this the last time we were talking about the premiere of Agatha All Along, and then my ADD rattled brain totally made me forget and go off track. But one of the things that I was wondering in terms of Agatha and Aubrey Plaza's character, what is her name? Rio
Rio
something?
Vidal.
Rio Vidal. So one of the things
Nevada.
that I was wondering, have either of you seen any of the Fantastic Beasts movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the first one and reviewed it on this channel.
I I couldn't remember if I did that with you guys or if I just saw it with somebody else. But one of the
Must have made a
elements that they
lasting
do
impression.
in
Yeah, great movie.
no, but something in the show reminded me of it. So one of the things that they did, which friggin' weird, all those movies are weird, but one of the things that they did was they implied that um Voldemort and what's his name? The good wizard.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore, thank you. That they were apparently in a relationship at some point, and they had cast a spell that would prevent either of them from killing one another. And it got me thinking when Rio Vidal and Agatha were basically, talking about like, Agatha says, we can't kill each other. I'm wondering if is it a nod to that? Is it a similar situation? Were they lovers? Like some folks online have been speculating, and if that's the case, do they have some sort of like sigil, some sort of spell that prevents each other from killing one another?
And we thought it was just sisterly love that they couldn't kill each other. Maybe there's
And they were
something-
roommates.
Yeah.
No, I still think that the reason she can't kill her is because she's Lady Death.
Could be. I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna go that. I think she's related to death in some way. I don't know that she's actually the personification of death. I'm not
She's
gonna
Coma.
give the MCU that much credit because I don't think they'll do that yet. They seem to really drag their feet at bringing out the big guns.
No, they do, and I think if she is Lady Death, they have more stories they're going to tell down this path, and I keep going back and forth whether I think, she's after her because she wants the power of the Darkhold, or if it's someone else. Somebody put that sigil on the team. Somebody doesn't want anyone to know who he is,
Mm-hmm.
which.
And the fact that it's affecting everybody.
Yeah,
Like they had me believing it was only Agatha at first, and then when it turned out, like all the other witches, like, oh, so that tells me that the teen, he wasn't aware that it was on him.
yeah, because he had no
Or-
idea.
He's the
Or
one in
Dave.
control of it.
Say that again.
Say that again.
Or he's the one in control of it because he's Mephisto.
So you think he just did it to himself?
Just so they wouldn't know who he was. And he could act like he's divulging information. Honestly.
That's not
who
bad.
would think that?
I mean, regardless of who he is, the fact that, yeah, because they called it, like they were all kind of talking down about it, like it was a mediocre spell. It was kind of like, Agatha, like, oh, it's beneath me, and you might be onto something, like, because we know that he does like to fiddle around with magic. He wants to be like a real wizard or whatever. You're a real wizard, Harry. So that's pretty good. He might have actually done it to himself to hide who he actually is.
Yeah, because they would
kinda
know
like
if he was lying. But if he did this, they would just think somebody's covering it. Oh, that's not bad, Dave. I like that
I
theory
like
quite
that
a bit.
lot. Yeah.
We're always right here on this channel, so don't forget that. Even when we have conflicting theories, they're always right.
You guys know someone is pounding on the floor in my house. I don't know what is going on upstairs. Can you guys
Oh,
not,
I thought
can you
that
not
was an
hear
eye
it
roll.
over the...
No, I can
we
hear it.
can't hear
Oh,
it.
good. I'm like ready to go up there and be like, what on earth is going on here tonight, you guys? Thought they were worn out. We ran around. Well, Sully ran around all day. Oh, God.
So I am trying to find the post that I saw on X earlier. It was something about, and I'm guessing this must be in the Disney store. I didn't find it beforehand, and I should have, but I guess either Disney or maybe it was Hot Topic. I don't remember. They're selling, I guess, one of the necklaces that one of the witches wear, and they mentioned that it was related to like one of the tarot cards, and that got me thinking, what if each one of the witches that are on the witches road, what if they represent another one of like the major arcana?
Are you talking about the maiden, the crone, and the mother? That's on Agatha's
No,
brooch?
not the three types of witches. No. I'm talking about somebody had put a post on X showing one of the necklaces that one of them are wearing and saying that it was related to one of the major arcana of the tarot. I think they were saying like it was, the Hanged Man or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but now I'm starting to wonder, based on what you're saying, you thought that Rio Vidal might be Lady Death. What if she is Death, but not Lady Death? What if she's a personification of the Death tarot card?
Okay, I mean, I could buy that too. She definitely has some things going on,
Because
and
she
we
gives that aura off.
and she was like dressed all in black when she first showed up at
Yeah.
Agatha's house in that first episode. She was like all dressed in black, and that dagger that she had kind of wasn't a normal dagger. You know, it looked very
Hmm.
death daggery and stuff. And then when we saw in Lilia's hallucination, she saw Lady Death. She like saw, the hooded, kind of what we saw in Thor: Love and Thunder. If you guys remember, in that wonderful movie, I'm sure you guys have watched it rewatched it many times on Disney Plus. But we saw where we saw Eternity and all the other sort of
Uh-huh.
major things. Lady Death was there with the hood and the skull face, and that showed up in that one hallucination. So I'm like, okay, but they've been hinting so much at so many things. It's hard to tell what's a red herring.
You remember all those scenes in the beginning of WandaVision that had like things in between the levels of the floor?
Yeah.
And we were basing some predictions on that. So yeah, they're good at dropping hints that don't actually bear fruit.
Yep. They were hinting at the Vision series from Tom King, and hold on a sec. I don't know what is going on. Mute myself for a minute.
Okay, it was Hot Topic. I could not remember. I knew that I saw it somewhere. So yeah, they a lot of the official branded stuff that has come over from Marvel that's being sold at Hot Topic, having to do with Agatha, seems to be tarot related. Like for instance, they mentioned they've got a shirt here, the Marvel Agatha the High Priestess tarot card shirt. Then they've got the Marvel Agatha Teen Tarot card shirt. And then they've got like another Marvel Agatha All Along tarot card t-shirt, and it's showing the characters on the different faces. They've got the Tower, the Queen of Cups, the High Priestess, and then they've got, Death. And so they've got like I think that must be a thing that they're doing intentionally, but they're not making it as upfront and noticeable. But that would make sense if you're dealing with like more of a mystical aspect, like fortune readers and witches and all this stuff.
Yeah,
That tracks. That would feel at home within this series.
that's crazy because I mean Disney's always had witches in
Yeah.
theirs, but I don't think they ever had like an actual practice like
Mm,
say a Ouija board or a tarot card. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So now they're just diving right in.
I guess so. There's another shirt here. I survived the witches road. That's good.
We don't know that yet. Come on.
Spoiler. Come on, Hot
Yeah, what
Topic.
the hell? What do you want to bet? All of them die except for Agatha
And the
and the
team.
team. Yeah,
I After you said that, I think you might actually be right. I bet after each one of the challenges, somebody is going to die.
yeah. I mean, what we got? We've been through 3 shows. There's 5 left. There's 4 total witches left.
Mm-hmm.
So that one gets eliminated every show.
I bet you're right. I could definitely see that, and that's why, Agatha was like, you guys really don't want to do this. You don't actually want to go. The Witch's Road is so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet she knows this, probably because of the last group she was with. She most likely led them down the Witch's Road, and you know, heck,
Yep.
maybe she was there. Maybe she went down the Witch's Road with her son. Maybe at the end of the Witch's Road, she wished for more power, and that's when whoever appeared, whether it was Mephisto or not, said, "Yeah, sure, I'll give you whatever. I'll give you ultimate power if you give me your son."
Yeah, jeez. It's very dark, but yes.
I mean, that was in her hallucination when she drank the wine. She saw the cradle with the Darkhold in it.
Yeah.
Which did that pretty much confirm that she did give up Nicholas for the
I think
Darkhold?
so. Yeah, I think
Shows
that
what
was it was so on the nose.
Yeah. What's the most important thing to Agatha? The Darkhold.
Power.
That's what it showed.
Power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the power of the Darkhold. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Keith, while you were away, we expressed the theory that there's 5 episodes left. There's 4 witches. We think
There's 6
one's
episodes
gonna-
left. There's 9 episodes.
Oh, there's 9. Well, either way, it kind of still works out. That way, one gets eliminated every show, and the 2 left at the end of the road are Agatha and the team.
That could definitely
Because
happen.
it's a dangerous place. You didn't expect them all to make it the way they were talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Aubrey Plaza comes back, because she was originally supposed to be the Earth Witch, part of the Coven. So do you think that maybe Sharon got killed because she wasn't the right witch for the Coven? And now Aubrey Plaza's character is going to show back up in the next episode to kind of walk him through. Because I would believe that theory. I mean, it's a good theory that we may see a witch die every week. But you would think it would be a witch because they're going to each have to use their power or their expertise to get through one of the trials while they're in the road.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think the potions witch already used her expertise for the first trial,
Yes.
So she might die at the second one.
true. But the Earth Witch has to come back because at some point they're going to need the Earth Witch's expertise to get through a trial.
Maybe.
That would explain the extra episode.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's so, we had Sharon die last episode to be replaced by to be replaced by Rio's Earth Witch, basically, or Blackheart,
see
whatever
that.
you want to call it. And then one could die each week. They just need the ones. Like Agatha's been through it. She knows once they've used their expertise, they're expendable. And I wonder if we'll see that in the next episode with the Potions Witch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I was telling Dave this while you were gone. I wouldn't be surprised if she was already well aware of this fact. And that's why she was telling them all, no, you don't want to go on the Witch's Road. The Witch's Road is dangerous, and she probably already knew. Maybe the last time she walked it, she wasn't alone like she claimed. She probably was with people and let them all die, with each one of the challenges.
And if she'd gone through and she didn't think that Sharon's role was so important, right? That she needed to be an actual witch. You know what I mean? She already knows what's coming. She's like, we'll just sacrifice this person here because
The thing that I guess I also don't fully get is, so she says that she's been down the Witch's Road before. She seemed to know enough about it, but she also thought that she could cheat the trial.
yeah.
And that was odd. That seemed odd to me. Like, I can't imagine that she was able to get through the Witch's Road on her own or with a coven and cheat the trials. Like, I just don't see how that would be possible because they weren't allowed to progress until they all drank the wine, and then the potions master came up with a potion to be the antidote. Like, they all had to do that. That was part of the trial. And even the teen was turning on Agatha, and he's like, dude, you gotta drink with the magic filling up cup, which is cool.
So do you think that she never went down the Witch's Road before? It was all just a story, and she's just not
starting to
denying it because she knows she needs to go down it now to get her power back? Because when
I'm
they
starting
asked
to
her,
wonder.
Because remember, like when they came in to the house and they were kind of asking her, well, was it like this the last time?
He had no intention on actually doing it.
Right. And she said, well, it's different for every coven. She totally, like, sort of pushed it off, like, oh, it's just different for, each coven that comes in, so it's dependent on the witches. Deflecting quite a bit, so I heard that and I was like, okay, did she really do this before, or was that just some story that got passed down from generation to generation, and she's not going to say any differently because people fear her maybe a little bit more, thinking she completed this trial.
And she did seem really shocked by her vision, like that she even had a vision.
Yeah.
Tried to play it off. Oh, nothing. No big deal. Everybody else shared. She's been on this road. She knows what's coming. She knows people are going to have visions at this time. Why deny it?
Yeah. What did she hope to gain by not? And she was trying to escape out of the house. Like, she should know that's not, like, it put them underwater so they couldn't escape and live. It was like adapting to her trying to get out. And if she would have done it before, she would know that's not, or you would think she would know that's not a possibility.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, okay, she's going to dump the wine, even though she knows she's supposed to drink it. She's going to try and break the window, even though she should know that's not going to work.
Did anybody have, like, Obi-Wan thoughts when that window started letting it down the water?
No, but I should.
No, not until now.
I just got a giggle out of it.
Were they all dry? No, they were all wet when they got to the next part of the road.
Oven?
Yeah, got through the oven.
I like that they had to slide. They had to go into the oven and down some sort of like forest slide. I'm like, that's goofy, but whatever.
And they were so unorganized. I mean, they couldn't even get up and get out of the way of the next person. They just had to take the next person.
Well, if they would have, the first one would have just got out of the way, they wouldn't have had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they weren't thinking.
Now, at the end, when they said, oh, Sharon's dead, and Agatha said, who?
Who?
Is it just because she didn't know Sharon's actual name?
I don't think so, because she called her Mrs. Hart multiple times.
Yeah.
It shows that she's that callous of a person. To take her, make her risk her life, and then when she dies, don't even know who she is.
Treat her like a tool.
Yeah.
That's our girl Agatha, though.
And what a terrible life for Sharon after Wanda comes to town. She imprisons her for how long? And then she finally gets out of it, and Agatha takes her with her and kills her.
Well, and her husband died during WandaVision.
True.
And then now she dies during that poor family. They're
regrets ever going to Westview.
Yeah. They can't recommend moving to Westview. We can't do it.
Speaking of Westview, I could be way off and looking too deep into it. But at one point, Sharon mentions she's, the entire time they're walking, she's complaining about how she's being kidnapped. This is the toughest day of her life, which leads to her downing 2 cups of the wine when they get to that house because she's so stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how she brings up, I'm a member of the Westview Historical Society. And it's like, I didn't know that town's big enough to have one, but okay, sure. But then she goes on to mention, I know all about Westview's failed public transport that they were attempting to build. And again, I could be looking way too deep into this, but I was wondering if that was supposed to be a reference to Ghostbusters 2. So if you're familiar with that movie at all, one of the things that they say, they have to go underground to find the River of Slime. And in the movie, the guy who's played by, oh my God, what's his name? Ray Stans. So he mentions, huh?
That's Bankman.
Yeah.
Dan
Aykroyd. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd's character, Ray Stans, mentions he's a big historical buff. He mentions, well, I don't know what we're going to find down there. The only thing down there is New York's failed public transport system. It was the old pneumatic travel system. And so I'm wondering, and I know that scene because I've watched the Ghostbusters movies like 80,000 times. And so that was the first thing that popped into my head, and I don't know if I tried looking up online. I couldn't see if that was like an intentional reference, so it could just be a coincidence. But I thought it was very odd to the fact that in Ghostbusters 2, their primary antagonist is supposed to be some ancient barbaric wizard who is like a mix between, Dracula and some like other evil.
Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, something like that. He's supposed to be a combo of all these characters, but they mentioned that he was a sorcerer as well. And so I'm like, okay, I wonder because they're pointing out they're doing all these things, these references to other movies and shows that had to do with witches and wizards and sorcerers and magic.
Oh my.
Could that be a nod to that scene from Ghostbusters 2, or am I thinking way too deep into it?
No, it could
Could
be
be.
because you're right. I mean, in the end credits, they show, Bewitched and Lisa from The Simpsons when she's a sort of witch and everything else. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it definitely could be. We may see more references to Ghostbusters 2 later on with that. Maybe we'll see a painting of Mephisto.
That'd be great.
Maybe Mephisto will actually make an appearance.
Well, if the rumors online are to be believed, they hired Sacha Baron Cohen to play Mephisto. So even though he's supposed to show up in Ironheart, maybe he'll make a little cameo appearance here, sort of like what's his name did as Kang in Loki.
Yeah.
Or-
And Ironheart was filming around the same time as Agatha. So, yeah, if the rumor is to believe that Sacha Baron Cohen is playing Mephisto in Ironheart, who gives the Hood his powers,
Mm-hmm.
very easily could have popped over and did something for Agatha All Along.
It's
See,
like
to me,
a
that-
short
it
scene,
just-
not even long, just makes an appearance.
It makes more sense to have him debut on a witch show than it would to have him in Ironheart, even if it's an after credit scene
No, you're
in the
right.
last episode.
Because he's all of a sudden showing up in Ironheart. Be like, wait, what the? Who-
Yeah.
Is this the guy they've been
Technology.
referencing from WandaVision and Agatha All Along
Yeah.
700 times?
For the last 5 years.
That would be the ultimate troll move from Disney MCU. Be like, yeah, they're expecting Mephisto to be in a show that would make sense, like WandaVision or Agatha All Along or something like that. We're gonna stick him in the one movie or show where it makes the least sense. He's going in Ironheart, baby.
Well, if it, I mean, I do like the thought of the Hood being magical versus technical in Ironheart. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that aspect of it makes sense. But you're right. Him all of a sudden just showing up in this show, in that show, when they could very easily kind of introduce him here and kind of give us a little background, so it makes a little more sense when he's just granting some hoodlum magical powers in Ironheart. Wait, who's that guy?
It'd be funny if that was his only appearance too. He just showed up there, did that, and took off, and never returned.
Oh, I hope the Hood. I hope that like they give him like the most boring name for Sacha Baron Cohen to have to say, like, Derek, you summoned me, the mighty Mephisto, to grant your wishes. What do you desire? I don't know, magic or something. And it shall be, Derek.
Oh my God.
Derek.
I should know the Hood's name. God darn it. I'm looking it up because it's nothing. I put E Hood. That's not going to find him.
Well, yeah, that's only the electronic version.
he's the computer virus version of the Hood that was created to take down Vision.
And he's possessed.
Right.
Drum roll, please.
Oh my God, I can't.
Can't find it?
No, I found his thing and I can't see his actual. Start with the Hood.
Is it Jason Todd?
No, it's
Oh, jeez.
Parker Robbins.
Oh, that's
Parker Robbins. Really?
Yeah.
should have given him a more
Okay.
boring name.
It's like that's the kid. Well, Christopher Robin is what comes to mind.
Okay.
Now, if they get through the Witch's Road So how many trials? They have Earth, divination,
Earth, wind, and fire.
potions, Earth. So they have like 5 trials to go to. That was episode 3, so they should be done by 8
Yeah.
if this happens. Do you think we could see some sort of magical battle at the end of all this? Because nobody trusts Agatha. Agatha is obviously could care less about these other witches. I'm trying to figure out like how this is all going to play out. Like the teen wants power. He knows, witchcrafty things. He's obviously studied and well versed in all things historical with Agatha and some other things. But I've been trying to piece together. Like, I do think at some point she's going to want to save her son, but I don't think it's in this series. I mean, if they all die while on the road.
I bet if there is going to be any kind of like final witch battle, Agatha versus the teen. He's been doing this all along just so he can take Agatha's power. He said he had studied her. He knew everything about her.
Oh,
He's been doing
that's
this
good.
what? Did you say all along?
He did.
I did.
Yeah. Was that
I said the
intentional?
thing.
He did. He said it.
I hope
That really is not your status quo.
he said it, people. He said it.
He said it. He absolutely said it.
You just had to wait till I set my cup down.
He
I did.
planned it that way. But, I mean, I think overall, I think it's going down a good path. I care about some of the mysteries going on. Acting's good. Should we rate this episode, gentlemen? Unless
We
you have any
should.
more theories, anything for what you think might be next in a little segment we call What's Next?
Well, I think the only thing I think about what's next to me is, one of the witches is going to die on every show. That's my theory. That's my
I
what's
like that.
next.
I like that theory.
After their usefulness has been, or they make a mistake like Sharon did, two drinks. But that will happen on every episode. That's my what's next. You have a what's next, guys?
I think for me, the only thing that's what's next is actually finding out the power behind the sigil with the teen. If the teen is not Mephisto or Nicholas Scratch, who put it there and what was the reasoning behind it? Is it trying to get the teen power? Like Doug said, teen is going to try to get revenge against Agatha for something they did. We know
You killed my almost mom, maybe, possibly, or you were related to her. I don't know. I didn't watch WandaVision. What happened?
what did you write, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? But remember, we heard about in that first episode, she talked about a car crash.
Mhm.
And that had something to do with this, but it wasn't. So could it be that maybe the teen's mother was killed and it wasn't recent, but it was somehow Agatha's doing? And that
Could be.
he is doing all this to just get power and get revenge on her at the end.
He could have a reason. There could be a legitimate reason behind it, or he's just a chip off the old block, and he just wants power for power's sake. Happens to know about Agatha, studied it, in all of his diving into learning about witchcraft. Oh, hey, there used to be this witch that could literally absorb people's powers. I wonder if I can come up with a way to reverse that to where I can do that too, or something, and then I can be a real witch.
I can be more powerful than you ever imagined.
Because it seems like he's very much interested in magic, but the way they're talking about him, it's almost like they don't recognize him as a full-fledged warlock or wizard or witch or whatever the, equivalent would be in the Marvel universe.
Well, and he seems so nice, and I was wondering too.
Yeah, they are nice.
No, if part of the glamour, like with the sigil too, that over his lips, like he has to appear to be friendly and overly nice. He seems like sincerely a good kid. Like he's, oh, where did you get that? You know, well, how was that done? And he worries about people. Like he goes out of his way to be kind of overly nice. Like even when she had him tied up in the thing, he's like, I just want to go the witch's road. I know you did it. And, you know, he even sort of plays the ego card a little bit in that first episode when he was like, that was your best era. And she's like, yeah, that was really good. Yeah. You know, he knows enough, and he seems to just play this incredibly nice kid, if that's part of the spell that's cast on him, to appear this way. And he's really not that nice and friendly. And that'll come out. I'm assuming someone's going to, at some point, whether it's Agatha or one of the witches or the Witch's Road or whoever cast it, will break that by the end of this series. Because if they end the series and we still have not been told who it is, I think we march at dawn.
Yeah. Well, you know, now you got me wondering, if that sigil is just, you know, such a simplistic, crappy spell, why don't one of them try to break it?
Well, if you're trying to break someone else's spell, can have bad effects, and they might think they need the teen at some point, because he was useful in episode 3 because they needed the blood of who wasn't poisoned. So without him, they wouldn't have made it out of that. So he may, you know, at some point they may try, but, you know, breaking someone else's spell, as we learned in Infinity War.
Doctor Strange.
And
yeah.
Not an easy thing to do and can be very dangerous. So it may not be worth trying to break it at this point.
Okay, that's fair.
To be fair.
See, I guess my only what's next is kind of in the similar realm. I am curious. That's like the one ongoing mystery that I guess I'm really curious about is, you know, who is the teen? What's his deal? Where did the sigil come from? What is his role going to be? Is he just going to be, you know, the plucky side character that really wants to hang out with his good old pal mentor Agatha J. Willikers? Or is it going to turn out, you know, he's actually some psychotic evil that's just been waiting to steal all of her power or something? Like, who knows? I don't know. That is the one thing that I am pretty interested in. I really haven't thought of too many more theories about the show other than that, just because I don't know, like I don't want to say that I feel burned from WandaVision, but I don't feel as excited to make a bunch of outlandish theories as I used to.
I get that. Yeah, we did that entire show, and we were always right.
The devil's in the details.
And Mephisto was name dropped, so we count that one in the win column.
Now, do you think maybe the teen's boyfriend, you know, who they showed his picture on, you know, the phone when he called him driving? Do you think that's going to mean something? Do you think that's maybe a bigger figure than we think?
Could be. Maybe that's the reason why he wants to get this power. Like, I keep going back and forth. Is it just because he's interested in witchcraft and really just this is his dream? He wants to be a full-fledged wizard, or is he trying to save somebody and he feels that he needs this power to do it?
Or maybe his boyfriend's trying to leave him and he doesn't want him to, and he wants the power for that.
Could be too.
Or he's going to fall in love with a shape-shifting son of a Kree hero and a Skrull queen.
That's entirely possible. Of course.
His name will be Hulkling. He'll be part of the Young Avengers. You know, they'll call him Teddy or something. But it was funny when on his phone call it just said like "be friend." It didn't say his name, because if it would have said Teddy, because in the comics Wiccan is dating Hulkling, who is right now the emperor of the Kree and Skrull empires.
Oh, okay. So he just had to fall in love with the prince. I get it.
Yeah, he's
Disney.
But if it would have said Teddy or something, people would have went crazy. You know, the theories. Oh, Hulkling was in things. So I thought it was kind of funny that they just avoided all of that by just putting B friend. Because I don't know about you guys, I put people's real names in my phone. When I was I have my wife's name in my phone. It doesn't say wife calling.
Right. That's the way I do it.
Put my dad is dad's cell in my phone.
Well, yeah, dad, but like if you were dating someone, you wouldn't put girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you're into.
Sure, I'd put girlfriend 1, girlfriend 2, girlfriend 3.
It'd be obvious when you're hanging out with one of them and the other one calls. You don't want to have
Excuse me, who's girlfriend 3? Oh, baby, you don't got to worry about her.
You're number one. Wait, number one's calling now.
Number 3. Why do you think
You're
she's 3 and you're 1?
Hey, you're crazy. Are you gaslighting me? No, everybody knows that gaslighting was invented by people who are victims of gaslighting. Come on.
Gaslighting doesn't exist. You made it up
It's
because
real.
you're
You made it up.
But if you want to go to rate them, we can do that.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I have expressed that this show got started off on an average level for me, and I think it's staying there. I don't think it's really done anything to lift itself to where I want to watch it a second time yet. I haven't wanted to do that yet. I've been okay with it, and frankly, I wasn't really enamored with the whole WandaVision thing, you know, how they switched eras. I mean, after a few shows, it got a little old to me. And then so when they went into this house and they all switched to like a different era, it seemed like, all right, it's an extension of WandaVision. And
I mean, that's what I thought too.
yeah. And it's like they're just doing it in a different way, which is fine. It just doesn't have any oomph to me. So, and I think it sucks that Debbie Jo Rupp's character died. I mean, she's just so fun to watch. She was great on that '70s show. She's been in a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like I said, it didn't go up or down for me this week. I'm going to stick with a 5 for the show so far. This episode is going to be a.
So yeah, I'm kind of in the same realm as you. It's fine. It's certainly not as egregiously terrible as some of the other shows that we've watched recently. Like, I mean, this has been pretty okay.
It's the okayest show ever.
Yeah, it is. Boy, you know, God, Dave, I feel like I would just love to drink out of a mug that said something like that, like that just expressed how I feel about some of these shows. If only there was like a way that I could get a pillow or a cup or a mouse pad or something that just had that sentiment of it's the okayest show ever. God, if only there was a way to get something like that.
Well, there is. If you look in the chat and hopefully in the description of the video, if you're not watching this live, you can go to the Not Your Status Quo spread shirt
Swag shop.
Swag shop. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. You have a whole new line of items that you'll love if you love what we were just talking about.
Awesome. I'm going to check that out right now.
No, finish your rating. Where are you going, Doug?
Wait. You didn't finish.
Sorry. God, I forgot. I was in the middle of a rating. Oh. I was about to head to our digital store by going into the World Wide Web. A la Tron.
Which I hear is...
No, so yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm in a similar boat as you, Dave. Like, it's pretty darn okay. Like, it's not terrible, that's for sure. I don't catch myself like looking at my phone that much. I'm halfway interested. I was interested enough that I was like, I should give this a proper watch before the review. I do want to, be acquainted with it. And I mean, I'm enjoying aspects of it. But it got me thinking, one of the things that it reminded me of was another show that dealt with witches. Not what you're thinking. I'm not talking about The Acolyte. I'm actually talking about Ahsoka. Yeah, you forgot there were witches in there, didn't you?
No.
But I was thinking about that show. Well, I was thinking about that show, and I'm like, you know, there were a lot of decent scenes. Overall, the show was a little mid to me. It was fine, but there was a lot of really standout scenes that I think about pretty constantly. Like, whenever I think about the Balin Skull hallway scene in the first episode, freaking epic, and the music that they played behind it, so good. And so far, there's been a couple of little, chuckle scenes, a couple of good scenes here and there that I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. I haven't seen anything that's like jumped out at me that said, hey, oh my God, this is an amazing scene that you're going to remember forever from Agatha all along. But I can see that there's the potential for it. So I am going to give this a 6.5. It was fine. It's nothing that's like, overly amazing to me, but yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. I don't hate it, that's for certain. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next one to see if it kind of, if my ratings go up from there.
And the one thing I agree completely with Dave in the sense that this hasn't went up or down from my original thoughts on the first two episodes. It's pretty much tracking exactly like the first two episodes. It's not like I like it a little more than Dave, but it hasn't went up or down from my original thoughts. Like the first two episodes, I was like, oh, this is good. I'm enjoying it. Same with this episode. Nothing, jumped it out. It has enough of the little like mystery and stuff to keep me intrigued, dropping the lines about, she gave up her son for the Darkhold and she's this witch and the little mystery with the teen and the sigil going on and we don't know who he is. It does enough. Like the episode itself, while good, not great, but the interesting stuff is the little tidbits they're leaving, along the way, and it does feel like it's building to something that I'll enjoy as opposed to,
Wait,
falling.
Keith, are you saying that the little interesting tidbits are sort of like a breadcrumb trail that maybe they're leaving for us on their way to a witchy end?
I do.
That was
Yeah.
a Hansel and Gretel deep, deep cut. So,
Yeah, and the fact that the last two episodes drop October 30th, Devil's
ooh,
Night.
that I
Very
didn't know. All
interesting.
right.
Yes. Yep, this will be over October 30th with episodes 8 and 9 dropping on the day before Halloween. And I'm gonna rate it. I think I rated the first two episodes a 6. I'm gonna give this a 6 too. I'm enjoying it. It's good show. I think it can build to something, and I think if they capitalize on the breadcrumbs they're leaving us, we'll have something that will be worth our time, overall for this. Where we've seen other shows, won't name names, Special Investigation, where like it started out, it was like okay, this ain't bad, and then just completely went downhill. A lot like The Acolyte. The Acolyte kind of started off, but then everything was so incredibly predictable and uninteresting that it just tailed off. So far, this has kept steady, and I enjoy that about that. They're kind of lulling us in to this and getting those mysteries. They're handling it the right way, is how I want to say. Leaving us those little tidbits, not exposing too much, and still giving us, what I think is, good dialogue from all the characters. The characters are who they are. They're all different with different personalities that kind of comes out through this, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And like you, Doug, I am looking forward to the next episode. I hope we learn a little more. And I think overall, this is when they first announced this. I think it was right after the "I Can Do This All Day" post-credit scene to Hawkeye, and I was like, oh my god, they're just going to do more songs,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
had
done.
zero interest.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then honestly, what brought it out was the trailer.
The trailer did look good, yeah.
It was like, okay, this could be good. They are kind of doing,
Yeah.
like Dave mentioned, the sort of WandaVision thing with each episode is going to be a little different, where WandaVision was a different television era and show. This is going to be more like it's a new trial. So they're handling it,
What
very
if
similarly.
what if the rumor about it being a musical, what if that came out of one of the episodes happens to be a musical episode?
Oh, Well, you know what?
Because if they're going to be doing the WandaVision style thing,
Doom Patrol did that and it worked.
yeah.
Maybe they can do that here. Maybe they can pull it off.
Doom Patrol had like a hard R rating and they didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a good show.
But you're right. If they do a musical episode, like one of the trials has them stuck somewhere where it's all singing and dancing, as long as they do it more Doom Patrol and less the Marvels,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll be fine. And they all have good voices. Everyone, it's the fact that all of the actresses they hired also have very good voices, even though they ripped on each other saying they're pitchy and flat and
Yeah.
stuff in that
A little
episode.
pitchy and flat
Yeah.
there.
I mean, they're really good voices, much like myself. But
Yeah.
so if they do it,
Shake
at
up.
least we'll know they got quality, singers to handle it. So if they do
You know
it,
what I think would have made this show better? If they would have, I don't know that he would have done a TV show, but if they would have gotten Sam Raimi to direct this,
I
So
think it would have
be-
been a lot darker.
I think it would be a lot darker, but I also think it would incorporate enough like goofy witchiness. Like he's really good at being able to mix camp with like dark horror themes. And I think he actually would have been perfect at making the show. It would have made it, I think, in my opinion, far more interesting, like seeing his style in this type of show.
No, you're right. If this was more like Evil Dead,
Yeah.
that would be, yeah. I could see that. That would be cool. But they probably were like, hey, no, I'm not doing a television show.
Right.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Army
even got
of
some.
Darkness. That was on last night.
Let's see. Kevin Davis,
hilarious.
Agatha All Along, okay show. Kathryn Hahn and Aubrey Plaza give good performances. Yes, they do.
hmm
People was celebrating when Star Wars, The Acolyte. That's sad. I wasn't celebrating when it got canceled, but I did
No.
enjoy the first season at all. I thought that show had a lot of potential, and it just
Yeah.
didn't live up to any of it.
I agree, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not sad that that show itself got canceled. I'm sad about the fact that this might ruin, Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm. They may think that, oh, well, if we step outside of the world of the Skywalker saga and all of that stuff, clearly Star Wars fans can handle it. Not realizing that there's a lot of potential good storytelling in that time frame. This just wasn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to stick to the Skywalker saga. There's good stories.
Yeah.
Just you need a good story.
I'm
Good
betting.
writing.
I'm betting somewhere in that script, I'm betting there was a good story. I truly think that, and I'm not just saying this. I think this could be a good candidate for a back to the editing room, because I'm betting there's enough elements out of that storyline that we could have made something way better that made a lot more sense. And I'm not trying to toot our own, we're not experts. Like, no one here on Not Your Status Quo is like a filmmaker or a scriptwriter or anything like that, but we do come up with some good ideas.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the biggest problem with The Acolyte. Everything was telegraphed too much. Nobody was surprised by any of the twists that came up on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, after the first couple episodes, I think the majority of the performances started falling flat. Like the first two episodes, it was like, this is pretty good, it's okay, it's doing good so far. And then, like, some of the acting just went completely off a cliff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was a shame too. Because it did feel a little stilted. And the other thing that I think hurt it in a way is the fact that so many of the articles that were written about it, a lot of the previews and everything, they were really pushing what's her name from The Matrix?
Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very-
Like, oh my God, like as if she's going to be like this huge aspect of the show. And she's in it for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes.
Oh, and Kevin says, I
Well,
understand
maybe
good
12.
storytelling matters. People still do look at race. 100% they do.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And we are not one of those. I wanted this show to do well because
Yeah, we
I
did.
love Star Wars. And for me, it was just one of those ones, I think Star Wars was trying to produce too much content too fast, a lot like the MCU was doing. The quality was kind of dropping off for both. And, there was a lot of good aspects to the Acolyte. Like I liked the Stranger. I thought that was, an interesting character. I'd like to
I
know
will
more
still
about it.
say, so kind of paralleling to what I said about Ahsoka, how there was a lot of good standout scenes that I remember. Same with a few scenes, I think less probably than Ahsoka, but a few scenes in The Acolyte that still stand out. When he impaled Jackie, that was one of those that stuck in my head. I'm like, oh, you went there. Okay. I didn't like having watched this show up to that point, I'm like, okay, whatever, this is dumb. Just get on with it so we can hurry up and talk about it. Oh,
Yeah, it's funny because him revealing himself as the Dark Jedi or the
so
Sith,
dumb.
everyone was like, "Oh my God, no one saw that coming." But then, yeah, like when
Right.
he was killing the Jedi there, especially Jackie,
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, I did not expect that." And that
Yeah.
episode was one of the better episodes in the Acolyte, mainly because Manny, I forget his name, was so good as that character. I mean, he definitely was top
Oh, no.
notch as that.
Hmm.
And I think the worst thing about it was not only the predictability, but us, learning that these Jedi did a terrible thing on that planet. And when they finally revealed what that terrible thing was, it's like, why are they blaming themselves? That wasn't that bad.
Right?
It was a misunderstanding, but it wasn't like they just went in and slaughtered everybody. I mean,
Hmm.
they felt, there was an aggressive force after them because
Literally.
exactly. It's, someone had taken over the mind of the Wookiee, Kalneka. So yeah, of course they're going to defend. I just that was the biggest thing for me. It was much like in
I
Man of
like
Steel when Pa Kent was like, "Don't save me from this tornado that you can save me from." You know,
right.
Right.
this was kind of the same
Yeah.
thing. Like, I feel so bad about what we did on that planet. I'm going to drink poison and die. And then you're like, "That's what he."
Yeah.
That made no
That's
sense.
all it took for
You
you
don't
to
have to do
commit
that, bro.
suicide. Yeah. Just, meditate for 10 years. You'll be fine. Tommen. Here we go, Tommen.
He felt bad about what his brother did in Westeros more so than what
Right.
he did on that planet.
You know what's funny is every now and again I do like to compare two similar episodes. And while I wasn't a huge fan of Tales of the Sith, I thought that Tales of the Jedi was done a lot better. Tales of Tales of the Sith was not as good, but
Tales of the Empire.
one of Tales of the Empire, that was it. Thank you. Tales of the Empire, not done as well, but one of the standout episodes was the one where they introduced the witches cult that lived on Dathomir. It was
Mhm.
like, oh, and they did a good job explaining, their backstory, kind of like showing us who they are, how they practice their version of the Force and everything. And I think they did a better job explaining Force witches than the live action Acolyte series did. And that's a shame because it is a cool concept, this idea of other beings out there who practice the Force, and it doesn't have to be relegated to just the Jedi or just the Sith. And I think if
Yeah.
it would have been explored better, it would
Mhm.
be fun to see in a live action series.
Yeah, because the Force isn't owned by either the light or the dark side.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Force. It's
I,
it's
I,
within
yeah.
every living creature.
I know we've totally led into tangent time by talking about this, but it really did have a lot of potential, and it's a shame.
Yeah, we all hope everything is good because
Yeah.
we watch it, we talk about it, and we have a much better
Hmm.
time if the show is good and interesting and we have
Yeah.
things that we want to know. Like when a show tanks like that, it's not fun. It
Hmm.
feels like a chore watching it and then even worse talking about it for a couple hours because
Oh yeah.
we want things to be good, just like Skeleton Crew coming out. I
I
certainly hope
hope
it's
it's
good.
good.
Yeah.
I really do.
It
I
was,
really hope it's good, but I don't know. Some of these Star Wars shows, they can be really hit or miss. I think I've told you this before, but I did not think The Mandalorian was going to be as good as it was. I remember when we were talking about it, like talking about the previews and everything, and you guys seemed way more excited about it than I was. I'm just like, whatever. It's just another Boba Fett. Who cares?
No. Yeah.
That first episode, boy, did it hook me.
Oh, the first 10 seconds
Oh,
or minute or whatever.
I can bring you in warm, or I
Let
can bring
me-
you in cold.
It's funny because did you guys?
Go.
Speaking of Pedro, he is in the Wild Robot movie.
Oh,
He voices the fox, and
huh.
I can't wait to see it because I saw like a little thing and I was like, oh my god, that's Pedro.
The movie where the robot is raising the bird or whatever.
Yeah. The gooseling, the
Yeah.
gosling or whatever.
I think I saw a preview about that. Okay, that's interesting.
It like has I think 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's been
Oh, is it already out?
Yeah, I think it came out yesterday.
Oh, all right.
So I'm probably gonna take the kid, but I was like, oh, nice, Pedro. It's nice to see him getting work because he always does such a good
Yeah.
job. He likes voiceover work. He does that for the Mandalorian, does it for
Mm-hmm.
some cartoons. We'll see how much
Well,
he's in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he does have social anxiety. That's one of his biggest things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From the big crowds. Yeah, that's I don't know if you saw when they were announcing the cast for the Fantastic Four, and when they came to him, he got really nervous. Like he grabbed what's his co-star's
Vanessa
name? Vanessa
Kirby's.
Kirby. He grabbed her hand because he was like he needed some stability.
I did not know that. Wow.
Well, let's see. Pixar, Inside Out 2 going to win Best Animated Feature at Oscars. Probably. That was a really good movie. Moana 2 will be a success. Joker Folie Deux will be a moderate success for Warner Brothers.
Oh boy, that's next
We'll
week.
see.
That's
We'll
this
see
week.
about that.
That's next
That's this
Thursday.
coming
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot we're seeing that next week. Boy, we are going to see that next week, Thursday. And you know what? I'm struggling to remember the name of the series that we where we go and we talk about movies at at the place where they show them.
When we're
At the
there.
theater.
Yeah, at the theater.
At the theater, right. And what do we call that, Dave? And at the theater.
Spoiler-free review.
Conflab, I think you got it, son.
So are we gonna not only do that, but Agatha's out this week. Are we gonna go? When are we gonna say something about that?
Well, we'll have to figure that
Right.
out.
Either we'll have to push that one till Monday and do it with the Penguin again, or
Yeah.
do another Saturday thing. I don't know.
Well, Saturday I got a gig next week.
Okay.
I might have Friday. I think I have Friday open as of this moment.
I
Okay.
don't think I do. We can figure that out. Figure all that out, though. Yeah, if we gotta save
We'll
it,
do
till-
that all fair.
if we gotta wait till Monday with the Penguin, we can do that. But while we're talking about Joker this Thursday, I enjoyed the first one. I know Dave did not.
I did.
Yeah, Doug did too. I worry that this is only got made because that made like $1 billion,
Oh, I guarantee that's why.
and it worries
Yeah.
me that they didn't have a story, and this is one of those things that we got to make another one. It made so much money.
Yeah.
It worries me, like the trailers didn't really like jump out at me like it was going to be something new and different, because we kind of got like a different take, like an Elseworlds Joker tale that to me I thought resonated with kind of the character quite a bit, and I don't know if this is going to
I
do
would
it.
have left it there.
Me too. It was perfect
I don't think it needed a
as
sequel.
one movie, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this is entertaining. It unlike Agatha, it is a musical.
Yeah.
And nothing against musicals. I've enjoyed musicals. They can be quite done, they can be quite good when the songs are entertaining. I don't know if it almost seems like to me, and it's only my feeling, like they were like, we need to do something totally crazy with this, to really ramp up what we did on the first Joker. Let's make it a musical.
Yeah.
And at first they were
That's
like,
what it
no,
felt
that's
like
too
to me,
crazy.
too.
It's just so crazy it can work. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I hope they did the right thing. I hope they had a good story and it makes sense and I'm entertained by it. I just am worried that I won't.
Now, gentlemen, what is the over-under that they're going to show the Wayne's murder again in the Joker sequel? Like, even as like a little flashback. Do you know what you caused?
I think there's a 100% chance we will see.
I think the opening scene is going to be some pearls flying through the air. That's what I think.
Yeah, because we know Warner can't help themselves.
Right.
Anytime there's even the Harley Quinn in the Harley Quinn series made fun of that. Oh my God, how many times have we got to see this?
Yeah.
You know, a Warner's executive was like, sorry, but it clearly states in your contract that any Batman or Batman adjacent movie has to have the pearls dropping.
Right.
How are we going to keep doing that? You'll figure it out. Just put it in part of a song.
Look, if it has to be literally every time, then, that's the rules.
When people stop loving it, we'll stop doing it.
That's right. Speaking of loving it, Kevin Davis also says Sonic 3 versus Mustafa, the Lion King families. We'll go see both films at the theater. Yes, we do.
He's saying families will go see both films.
Yes. Which is possible. Yeah. Another Barbie Oppenheimer situation. Barbenheimer. Sonic the Lion King.
I really thought Oppenheimer was the better of the two movies, but I think it didn't make as much as Barbie at the same time. Is that true?
Barbie made more money, but Oppenheimer still, I think, made $1 billion at the box office, which for a 3-hour rated R movie, I was shocked, but I was riveted.
I enjoyed
that movie. Yeah, me too.
You know what's awesome about that? They can't make a sequel.
Yes, Dave, do you doubt their ability to do something terrible and make a sequel to that?
Dave.
Please no. Please no.
I mean, the U.S. did tell Japan that they'd see the sunrise twice, so.
Oh, boy.
Dark joke.
Yes. There was some... What was this? I was reading something somewhere. It was a story about a guy who, during that, like, which bomb did Hiroshima bomb drop first or Nagasaki?
It was Hiroshima first, and then Nagasaki was the second one.
Like, the guy was near Hiroshima when the first bomb dropped, and then he drove to Nagasaki.
Whoops. Wow.
That seems like a Wile E. Coyote movie.
That is like the worst friggin' luck. Oh
like he had family in Nagasaki or something, so he was traveling there to get away, and then the second bomb hit. And I can't remember. Was it a movie?
They were trying to get that guy.
Yeah.
They were trying to get that guy. Damn. Eisenhower's sitting there like, damn it.
That guy, get him.
Where's he going next? We'll give you the guy. Please stop destroying our cities.
Just stop, please.
All right, Chesty Polar, we're sending you in. Hunt him down.
They show up and nuclear bombs like sitting on a plane ready to drop. You hand them over and we won't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. We're giving them. We're passing them over.
Yeah, there was a third location, but they handed the guy over. Should we be joking around about that 70, 80 years later? Probably not.
Probably not.
I made a World Trade Center joke last week.
I made one September 12th, 2001. So.
Oh, goddamn.
You know why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella?
Why?
For shizzle.
For the drizzle. The drizzle.
Yeah, that's...
That was good, Dave. But nobody paid for a dad joke.
No, they didn't. Well,
I do find it it is interesting to me. I'm happy, but it is interesting to me that we've been getting more folks ever since we started doing this, where we're streaming live on YouTube. I think we've been getting more people in the YouTube chat than we ever used to.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah.
Like, even more so, like, we're getting more engagement on YouTube than we are on Twitch, and it's a little interesting to me.
I don't know. We got like a couple first-time chatters on Twitch.
Mhm.
Best viewers on here's a URL. We got another cheap viewers and a certain URL. So, yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
actual people on YouTube asking us questions and engaging us in chat, and we're getting spam bots on Twitch. So yeah, it's about even.
Going
Definitely-
great. Exactly what I
Definitely.
imagined.
But if we want cheap viewers, I know where to get them.
Oh.
Does that mean they don't like to pay for things, or?
Oh, that's a
'Cause they're
good question. Yeah. I could have read that wrong. I thought we could buy additional viewers for a relatively inexpensive thing, but these are just people. I'm not subscribing to that Twitch channel. That'll cost me $4. I'll watch the commercials. This is a rather tasty commercial. I won't buy that product because I'm cheap.
I'm cheap.
Well, gents, anything else for this evening that we got? Oh wait, we got. Do you think people will see Marvel Studios Thunderbolts in theaters, or will wait to see it on Disney Plus?
Oh, after this trailer that dropped, I could see that being big in theaters.
And unlike some of the other recent Marvel movies, it's not coming to Disney Plus like a month after it drops. So I do think this will do a little better at the theaters than the last couple ones. I mean, the trailer looked pretty good.
Did to me anyway. I mean, I got excited.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Deadpool and Wolverine is on Disney Plus on Tuesday.
Already?
No.
Yep.
No. It's dropping.
Said that
You can buy
said 10-1.
you can buy the digital. It's coming to Disney Plus the same day it drops on digital?
That's what I saw on Disney Plus.
Well, goddamn. All right.
Wow.
I
Because
feel like they'd be losing out on money.
Yeah, because it's coming digitally. Like you can buy it digitally. October 1st, it's coming. The Blu-ray
you
physical
think-
copies, the 22nd, I believe.
You think they're doing that to up their subscribers?
Probably.
Well, let's just confirm it. I don't want to give out bad information. Yep. Oh no, wait a minute. It says Marquee site book. Okay. No, you're right. It says late October, early November. Could have swore I read the Disney Plus.
That would be
Swore I
awesome
read-
if it did. Yeah. It's just the digital copies. I really wish when you ordered the physical copy with the digital copy, you would be able to watch your digital copy at the earlier date. But that doesn't work out that way. Because I will definitely be buying the physical copy of Deadpool and Wolverine. Because that movie deserves all of the money I can throw at it possible.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
wonder
figure
how
if I'm
much
gonna
money-
buy, if I'm gonna buy the steelbook of the phenomenal masterpiece that is Madam Web, I can at least get the regular DVD version of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Let's see how much. I want to see how much it's made so far. I know it's the #1 rated R movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the number 23 movie overall of all time.
Oh, wow.
$1.3 billion worldwide so far.
And it only cost $200 million to make. $30 million less than it cost to make The Acolyte.
Really?
That's true. That's true.
That is depressing. Jeez.
Do you think HBO House of the Dragon will finally break through at the Emmys?
No.
It might. I'm trying to think.
Really? Did Game of Thrones win a lot?
Oh, Game of
that
Thrones
one?
won a ton of Emmys. I think
Not
it
that
could.
last season.
I mean, I think we get some excellent performances out of House of the Dragon. You know, there's a lot of competition out there. Because next year, I think the Penguin is going to clean up at the Emmys, especially what's his name?
Oh yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Thank you. I mean, if he
Yeah, he's
doesn't win,
amazing.
there's a freaking. It was rigged.
We're gonna call it right now.
If Colin Farrell doesn't win, totally rigged. Totally.
Even if he does win, it's rigged.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at what the Steelbook is supposed to look like. They're releasing 2 versions of the Steelbook. One where Deadpool is front and center and has the Deadpool logo on the back, and one where Wolverine is front and center and has a Wolverine logo on the back. So they're trying to get collectors to buy 2 versions of the same movie. Wolverine logo on the
And
back.
like, which one of us
So
won't do
they're-
that? Come on.
They're trying to
Right.
get I mean, this is just like variant covers on comics. I mean, obviously I'm
Which
going to buy
one of us
both.
won't do that? Come on. Right.
They're trying to
Right.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
just like I was doing that when I would go to the comic book store and pick up my Darth Vader comics. I'd be like, okay, here's the one that but here's a variant cover. Oh, this one looks like the Chewbacca action figure. Well, I guess I'm buying 3 versions of the same comic.
Yep. I hate it when they do that because I can't
God.
resist.
Right? It's so hard to say no.
I just want to really support what you really like, and when they do that, I really gotta support it.
Yeah. According to this,
Hold on, we just
they're
got a
going-
notification. KJ
Oh?
Richter 7 has resubscribed for 25 months. Thank you, KJ Richter 7. We appreciate that. It says, great stream as always, gentlemen. I concur. You're
Excellent.
a wise man out there. Oh, we got some more questions from Mr. Davis. Do you think Ryan Murphy will win for Netflix Melendez Brothers at the Emmys? You know what? I haven't seen that yet on Netflix. I know it was #1. It just came out. I plan on watching it, but I have not seen it yet. But if he does a good job, hopefully, he wins an award or 2. That's always, great acting is. But then again, it seems like lately with all the streaming services, there's so many really good shows out there that it's harder and harder to win Emmys these days than before.
There's a myriad of shows, and it's just it's hard to keep up with them. For one, if they're not on our slate, I really don't have time for them, And then there's the ones that you give a try that are just terrible, because right now you're gonna get the good with the bad. If you get some really good shows, you're gonna get some that slide through that aren't so good.
Mm-hmm.
I personally I can't wait for the next season of Fallout. I mean, when
Yes.
is that coming out? 2026?
Yeah, they said it's going to be a while.
But that was an unexpected hit for me. I mean, it looked okay, but then I watched it and I was like, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, when they announced it as a fan of the game, I was worried about it because that's a very unique style to that game. But as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm pushing all my chips over. I'm like, yep, I want it. I need it.
Yeah. Can you believe they made a game based off that show?
I know.
I bet what you really said when you saw it, Geek, was okie dokie.
I did, you're right. Okie dokie. And I do think we had a video on our YouTube channel on what's next for Fallout.
I believe we did, yeah.
Really.
Well, if you're watching this, you should go straight to that.
Yeah, if you
and
like,
check it out.
if you like Fallout, hear our thoughts on it. I've played. I think Doug and I have played all the games. We had a little knowledge. We have our educated guesses on what will happen next on that show, and I think we did a pretty darn good job. I think we might win an Emmy for our work on that one. So we're very excited about that. Do you think Prime Video The Boys will get Best Drama Series Emmy nomination at next year's telecast? I don't.
Well, that's
Because it is a good show, but its better seasons are behind it. I think if it got it, it would have got it its first season or second season. While I'm still enjoying the show, I don't think the quality is as good as it was the first couple seasons. So I don't think they'll get an Emmy nod this year. One, because it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Not much. Still a good show. Don't get me wrong. I don't need any boys lovers coming after us in the chat here.
Whoa.
But
Rephrase that.
It's so vulgar too. I think the Emmys may avoid it only because it goes out of its way to be extremely vulgar. I don't mind that. I just think the Emmy people might.
You know, the last season, season 5, that has got to. They're gonna have to top the first season. You know, they're gonna have to pull out all the stops and make that the best season yet. Ever. I mean, because it can't be yet because it's the last season.
No, you're right. It's probably I think they have, knowing that it's the last season, I think they're going to go all out to make it just bonkers beyond belief. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, should we find somebody to read? It's getting late on a Saturday night here.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Doug, you want to explain to the people on YouTube what rating is?
Sure. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, rating is a little thing that we do here on Twitch, where we find another channel that's streaming, maybe somebody that we know, maybe somebody that we don't. Who cares? And what we'll do is we'll take all of our viewers that are watching us on Twitch and kind of shift them over and share the love with another person that is streaming. So while you cannot take part in the raid with us on YouTube, we still thank you for watching us there, and we hope that if you want to see more of what we do, that you subscribe, that you like, that you share, that you do whatever else is out there on YouTube. I think there's like a flute that you got to play or a harp that you've got to strum. I don't know, but if you could do all the YouTube stuff, and hey, if you want to, hang out with us on Twitch too, look us up. Not Your Status Quo. We're all over the place. Check out our socials. Wow, I can speak.
Socials.
What Dave said.
But with that, have we picked somebody to raid?
You know what? Laura Loopsy is online. We have not seen her in a very long time, so I think we should
true.
raid her.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I think the last I heard from her, like her mom was sick or something.
Yep.
So she couldn't stream for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen her online. So once again, thanks everybody for coming out. Thursday, we will be at the theater for our spoiler-free review of Joker 2. And then we'll be talking at some point both Agatha Episode 4 and Penguin Episode 3. But Monday, we will be online talking Penguin Episode 2, which has not aired yet, but it's airing tomorrow. So please join us for that. And like Doug said, if you haven't, you enjoyed us, you're out there on YouTube, subscribe. It's free, and it helps our channel out immensely.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.